Hey everyone, this is my ranking of my favorite Shah Rukh Khan performances. In the last 26 years, Shah Rukh has had almost 100 credits to his name in a glorious career doing hero, villain, comedian and cameo. These are my favorites. First, a special mention for Swades, which released in 2004. Shah Rukh is Mohan Bhargava, a project manager at NASA who rediscovers his roots. Like the film, his performance is measured and unflashy. At number 5, Kabhi Haan Kabhi Naa, 1994. Kabhi Haan Kabhi Naa released in 1994 after Dar and Bazigar, but it was shot before stardom set in. Shah Rukh is Sunil, a bumbling, clumsy, aspiring musician in Goa who is forever chasing an unattainable dream, Anna. At one point, the local priest asks him,
तुम हमेशा खिड़की से क्यों जाता है? खिड़की से पहले दरवाजा क्यों नहीं ट्राई करता कभी?
But Sunil marches to the tune of a different drummer, and that's what makes him special. There is a sweetness and innocence in this performance that Shah Rukh never matched again. Sunil does silly things. He lies to Anna and to his parents, but even his mistakes are so good-natured that it's impossible to be angry. Anthony, the local don, tells Sunil that he's a sacha lover. There is a purity in his emotions. Of course, by conventional standards, Sunil is a loser. He doesn't even get the girl in the end. But director Kundan Shah and Shah Rukh make us care for him and root for him. I don't think Shah Rukh did another character who had the same sort of youthful vulnerability, which is why Sunil is a keeper. At number 4, Theyve Thus, 2002. Theyve Thus is another word for excess. This was the first unveiling of Sanjay Leela Bhansali's instinct for opulence and opera. Everything is dramatic, from the Zamidar's Haveli to Chandramukhi's Kotha to Paru's longing for Theyve Thus, who here comes back from London after 10 years. So Paru lights a diya for him and keeps it going the entire decade. Sanjay's vision is all about swirling top shots, reams of flying fabric and heightened emotion. Shah Rukh is very far from his comfort zone of the urbane contemporary Indian. For most of the film, he's in a dhoti, either crying or drinking. And yet, Shah Rukh manages to plumb the singular tragedy of Theyve Thus, a great lover but an indecisive, weak man who self-destructs after he loses Paru. Watch him in the scene when Theyve Thus comes to meet Paru just before she gets married. He had sent her a letter saying that they must part, but now he's falling apart himself. His expressions combine embarrassment, arrogance and regret. He hits her with her own necklace and then is immediately sorry. Or watch him in a scene when he shuts down his haughty father who's insulting Paru. Later in the film, he arrives for his father's funeral drunk and then makes polite conversation as though he's talking about a stranger. It's heartbreaking. Of course, the litmus test is that classic dialogue. When Chandramukhi asks Theyve Thus to stop drinking because he won't be able to bear it, Theyve Thus replies,
कौन कम वक्त बर्दाश्त करने को पीता है?
When he says this, Shah Rukh doesn't have the same depth or finesse of a Dilip Kumar, but he has arrogance and vulnerability that make this Theyve Thus memorable. The film is a sensory overload, but Theyve Thus's heartache pierces through all that Baroque splendor, and that is an achievement. At number 3, Kal Ho Na Ho, 2003. Kal Ho Na Ho is the pinnacle of what I call the Shah Rukh Khan charm offensive. Here he plays Aman, a terminally ill man who is so noble and large-hearted that he engineers that the woman he loves, Naina, marries her best friend Rohit instead of Aman himself because he's not going to be around too long. Kal Ho Na Ho is basically a mashup of two Rishikesh Mukherjee films, Bawarchi and Anand, and Shah Rukh becomes the modern-day avatar of Rajesh Khanna, exemplifying the line, Zindagi badi honi chahiye, lambi nahi. So Aman is also the farishta or angel who brings love and laughter into Naina's tragic life. Early in the film, Naina, her mother and her younger siblings are praying. Naina says, "Dear God, if you're listening, in andheron mein thodi si roshni le aa." And on cue, the light goes on in the neighboring house and Aman walks into the balcony wearing only a shirt in the snow. The next day, it's summer. Kal Ho Na Ho is filled with these ridiculously convenient plot twists, obviously manipulative emotional moments and problematic gender politics. At one point, Aman concocts a romantic scheme which he describes as "6 din ladki in."
लड़की in, सिर्फ 6 दिन.
But the one thing that helps you overlook all of this is Shah Rukh in all his glory as both romantic hero and the ultimate family man. Of course, there's no subtlety here. He's animated, energetic, and even when he's dying, fabulously over the top. Watch him in the scene on the railway station when he must convince Naina that Rohit loves her by reading from his diary, except that the pages are empty, so he starts to reveal his own emotions for her, pretending that these are Rohit's words.
काश मैं तुम्हें बता सकता मैं तुम्हें कितना चाहता हूं. One second. Wait. I love you. I love you very, very much.
There's such a desperate longing in his eyes. Or in another scene, Rohit and Naina do the salsa together while he watches godlike from a balcony above. The strains of the title song begin. Aman purses his lips, looks into the distance, cut to him walking on Brooklyn Bridge. He spreads his arms and sings, Har pal yahan ji bhar jiyo, because of course, Kal Ho Na Ho. It's irresistible. At number 2, Fan 2016. Fan is a fascinating but flawed study of celebrity and the reverential relationship we have with our stars. The film is a hall of mirrors, with Shah Rukh playing a thinly disguised version of himself as Aryan Khanna, the superstar. He also plays Gaurav Chandna, the pathologically obsessed fan. It's a masterful double act. Gaurav is easily one of the most beguiling characters in Shah Rukh's oeuvre. When the film begins, this middle-class boy whose whole life is centered around his love for Aryan comes off as naive and sweet. 3 years in a row, Gaurav has won the Super Sitara contest in his colony doing Aryan imitations. There's a wonderful sequence in which he copies Aryan's every move, even as clips from Aryan's films play just behind him. It's hard to tell what's real and what's imitation. Aided by skillful special effects, prosthetics and makeup, Shah Rukh creates a wonderfully complex character who seems at once endearing but also demented and dangerous. As Gaurav becomes more unhinged, you see hints of Shah Rukh's Dar and Bazigar days. But even as the plot becomes wildly implausible, the character remains believable. What's impressive is that Aryan also has depth. The film takes potshots at stardom. In one scene, a character says, "Chahe jail jaएं या शादी पे नाचें, attitude कम नहीं होता है stars का." In another, Aryan is examining his aging face in the mirror. He seems hollowed out by fame and his own myth. Fan was a commercial failure, but performance-wise, the film is a resounding success. I don't know that any other actor could have made us invest in a character as darkly complicated as Gaurav. So when at the end he flings himself from a terrace and goes down smiling, surrounded by twinkling fairy lights, you're genuinely sad. I wished it had ended differently, both for Gaurav and this film. And at number 1, my favorite Shah Rukh performance so far, Chak De India 2007. It's the penalty shootout in the Women's Hockey World Cup in the last few minutes of Chak De India. The Australian player drives the ball into the centre. The goalkeeper successfully blocks it. The Indian team whoops with delight. Their coach Kabhi Haan, who's engineered this miraculous win, looks on unbelieving and stunned. He staggers back and tears up looking at the Indian flag. It's an unforgettable mix of underdog victory and patriotism, which of course results in 100% audience satisfaction. For me, this film is Shah Rukh's finest hour. Directed by Shimit Amin and written by Jaideep Sahani, Chak De India isn't just the best sports film made in Hindi, it's also the best showcase for Shah Rukh, the actor. It's the story of a disgraced hockey captain leading a ragtag band of women, another character calls them the Rakshason ki Sena, to victory in the World Cup. The love story here is between Kabir and hockey, between Kabir and India, between Kabir and his quest for victory. So we don't get that outstretched arms pose or any of the mannerisms that made him Bollywood's most successful romantic star. Neither do we have the distraction of stylish clothing or snazzy cars or glamorous locations. What we get instead is an actor shorn of vanity. Kabir is vulnerable, his eyes brim with pain and regret. The humiliation of his defeat and subsequent shame has scarred his soul. When he grabs a rebellious player's arm and says,
हर टीम में सिर्फ एक ही गुंडा हो सकता है और इस टीम का गुंडा मैं हूं.
You believe him. There are some dark places in Kabir's broken heart, and watching him heal himself through this team is an exhilarating journey. It's a career-defining performance in a film that's lost none of its impact. Each time I see the 70-minute climactic speech, I get goosebumps, and the hard-earned victory still makes me cry. Besides, Kabir is a ferocious champion of women. What's not to love? So what are your top 5 Shah Rukh favorite performances? Please drop them down in the comments below and keep talking to us. And for more videos like this, subscribe to Film Companion.